I had mentioned this a couple of days ago, and I hadn't put out a poll or anything, so kind of got busy with life. But I'd mentioned talking about a secondary league using the 2018 roster, and I wanted to show I'd actually managed to find, although it's not the actual Redskins because you cannot actually make a team builder using the Redskins. I did find this particular logo set up. So it's the Washington Skins. Most of the ones I found were like named like Landover, Maryland, Washington. So like the team name was like the team name instead of it being like for example the Jets, it was like Washington. That was the name of the team. This is the only one I managed to find with the Redskins logo and a team name that's closely resembles what they the former Redskins. So that's what I use. But I did keep the roster from what was before, so you can kind of see. We have Kirk Cousins here starting at quarterback, and I did look at some of these numbers as far as the contracts and stuff. These do appear to be pulled directly from Madden 18. So somebody went through, and God bless them for doing it. Went through the PC version and went through and edited a lot of these things, including contract lengths. So the contract length should be accurate. Of course, I can't see them in here. Ooh, one of my cats decided to jump up here and start some shit with another cat already up here. Anywho, I'm flipping through. Now, I wouldn't play as a Redskins, but I wanted to load this up just to show you, what's available here, just to kind of show you the team that would be here for the potential Redskins owner or Skins owner, I guess. And this is what a lot of these teams look like. Remember Jordan Reed from back in the day? That dude was a monster. Vernon Davis. I mean, there's and Trent Williams back in the Skins uniform. I will say for the record that overall the offensive lineman ratings are a lot higher because they are pulling from 2018 and I believe around 2020, 2021 is whenever they did the O line adjustment for ratings to where the overall is a lot lower for your talented offensive linemen. So if you see teams with a lot of, high 60s, low 70s, even mid 70s offensive linemen, although this team doesn't really have it, but I have seen, like, for example, you got 94, 79, and 76 overall. That's something you don't see in the normal roster setup. But, flipping through this team in particular, you can kind of see, especially if you're a fan of this team, you can kind of get an idea of some blasts from the past. Most of them have, at the very least, the photo up top, Ryan Kerrigan. That was a dude that was a monster back in the day. But you can see they have their actual photo now. When you go into their face scans, it may or may not have their face scans. Uh, this one does look like it has a decent face scan anyway. But so not all of them have face scans, but most of the major ones do. One notable one, my Saints and Drew Brees don't have a face scan in the game, but the cool part is obviously, let's see if Big Ben, does Big Ben have a face scan in here? He does have a face scan in here. Okay, well, that's interesting. Anywho, going through this roster, Deshaun Watson on the Texans before he, was known to be an interesting character, um, to put it mildly. But just kind of flipping through rosters, showing off like, I'll just go to NFL. You got Tom Brady's in there, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. You can kind of see what they're rated at. You can see their ratings and everything. This is a roster I downloaded. It's actually a slightly tweaked roster of the Madden 18 FFC roster that's out there that I know it was advertised in our main chat. This is a modified version of it. I did not modify this version of it, but I did like some of the modifications. For example, I know in 2018, I know Aaron Rodgers was a top five QB, but in that roster that they had, he was like an 89 overall, which put him a little bit lower down the pecking order. This one, he's more in line with where he probably was in 2018. Now, you will notice that the pictures are probably a little bit different. These are the more modern pictures for some of these players, but um, it is cool to be able to see, like Philip Rivers back in San Diego. Well, no, this would have been Los Angeles, the first year of Los Angeles. Drew Brees And like I said, Drew Brees does not have a face scan, so it's definitely not Drew Brees right there. As you can see, that is not Drew Brees. Um, but most of the players are represented. I think Tom Brady's represented, I believe. Yeah, it's a little quirky on with him though. But when he's got his helmet on, you can't tell that he's a cyborg, so just ignore the cyborg. But it's a really good roster makeup. I mean, considering this is something you would not be able to do on console, just it just wouldn't happen. So it's really cool. The guys from the PC Land did this. But I wanted to show this off. Obviously, I would have to load up the skins team builder that I downloaded and then swap out once, we got if somebody wanted to be the Redskins, for example. But this was the idea I had was essentially starting with obviously 2024 season, but I'll advance a few weeks. Let me jump to the regular season. But I do have some draft classes that I could load up, which I believe I showed in the example video. But this is something new. The skins that I found, that was a new one. So choose draft class. Let's import a local file. Let's import the 2018 draft reel, I believe is the one I want to get. Yeah, let's do the 2018 draft reel. Or let's do this one. I still need to analyze some of these draft classes to make sure they're okay. Some of them are a little bit better than, slightly better than others. Let's get this done. So yeah, you can see the photos are there. You can go in player cards. Um, and their actual when you go to edit players, their stuff is there. Most of them have face scans in the game, and I think it'd just be cool to just to go back and like now some of them like I may have to actually edit just the name, which is all I would edit. But like go in here and can I get by with Minka because that's what his name was. Oh, got to delete stuff first, dummy. So what his name was Minka? Was that? Oh, was it? So the H is what makes it vulgar. What? I'm trying to figure out why. Okay, you know what? Don't think about it too hard. But like, I could go in and easily edit the names of the few players if I know them. Just go in and edit the names of the draft class, and that'd be the only thing I would edit would be names. That's it. I don't care about editing anything else. I wouldn't care about looking at anything else either. So, as you can see, I see their overalls, but I'm not really paying like this one. Who the hell is this? So it might be a good idea to go through this offline and just look at the names and then go through and motor through and edit the names. Like this one, Laguda, for safety. No clue who that is. But I think it'll be an enjoyable thing. Some guys may need some editing because I'm pretty sure Kalen Balaj is not 5'8", 214 pounds. There's my boy Deion Kane, who's the monster. Um, he's right, so that's at least good from us. So some height weights might be need to be adjusted. Schools might need to be adjusted because I'm pretty sure Kalen Balaj is Arizona State. But that's all stuff I could do in an offline file, save it offline, and then just import it. So that way, it wouldn't be something that you guys would have to worry about me like knowing what the overalls are. Because honestly, I'm flipping through here, and I guarantee I wouldn't be able to remember this shit once I actually loaded up the file. So. Um, let's just save and exit. So, but that is something that I think would be cool to do. And I do have draft class files for 2018, 2019, 2020. So we'd be starting from the 2017 season, quote unquote, with whatever players and stuff were there, and then move on through life. So I think it'd be really cool. But again, it's going to be something that if everybody wants to do it, that'd be great. If not, then we'll just move on with life and not worry about it. But I just want to show you this, just to kind of give you an idea again. You'll probably see, if you bother to watch this, you'll probably see um, a poll. There's the word I'm looking for. A poll come up here in the next little bit to gauge interest, and then see where we might try and go from there. Because again, I do want, excuse me, I do want about I would like at least half the league to be bought in for this to try it because I think even 16 teams is a little bit low. But as hard as it's been for us to fill out our roster with users in our regular WFL league, it's going to be something that's going to be a struggle. But I think it'd be something that'd be enjoyable to do as an off kilter. Plus, kind of like I have a what if because there's as I was flipping through the rosters, some interesting things came to mind, especially from the quarterback position. Let's see. Let me flip through here. Like Marcus Mariota, maybe you make him into something actually special because he's listed as quarterback of the future. Hey, Sam Bradford, Teddy Bridgewater, does his career take off or is it bust career? Um, Mitch Trubisky, does he get better? Does he stay? Does he stay the forever the perennial bust of the Bears because they didn't draft Patrick Mahomes? Uh, let's see what else. Nathan Peterman, does he become a monster because he's listed as a future starter? If you remember his real life career, he didn't have a good start. He threw 5 picks in one half and got benched and never was the same after that. Uh, this is not real. Robert Griffin III is actually in free agency for this roster file, so this is the fast forwarded version. But maybe Paxton Lynch. Do you take Paxton Lynch? Do you sign Robert Griffin III and try and make him into something? Make him into a guy that maybe is a good quarterback. Browns, Deshaun Kaiser, you know, Jameis Winston, Carson Palmer. Do you try and bomb out with the Cardinals and get Baker Mayfield, for example? Maybe hope your guy retires. Pat Mahomes, does he actually become Pat Mahomes in Kansas City? Does he get traded? That kind of thing. Andrew Luck. This is another one that the roster I downloaded, the edited roster was favorable because Andrew Luck was actually rated below Jacoby Brissett a couple of points because this is the year Andrew Luck got hurt. Unfortunately, was out the entire season, so they used the end of season roster update, I believe, and that's where he was lower than Jacoby Brissett. But maybe in this universe, Andrew Luck's a little bit better. Maybe Andrew Luck sticks around and doesn't retire on the Colts like he did in real life. Cowboys, Dak Prescott. Hey, smoking Jay Cutler. Dude just got arrested for DUI. Maybe he's a little bit better in the Dolphins here. Carson Wentz, does he actually maintain his MVP level career? Matt Ryan, does he get one before he hangs it up? Jimmy Garoppolo, at 25 years old, maybe he actually is the answer for the 49ers. Eli Manning, Davis Webb, Geno Smith. Maybe Geno Smith uh, becomes a stud in New York instead of with the Seattle Seahawks. Blake Bortles, does he actually become a solid player, or is he just a flash in the pan? Christian Hackenberg, that was another one that popped up. Man, I was like, Jesus, that guy was such a bust. But maybe you can do something with Christian Hackenberg, make him into a stud. Who knows? But that was just some ideas I had, just in the quarterbacks alone. I thought it would be interesting to kind of play around with. Yeah, he is definitely not the backup in New England. But anyway, I want to show this off kind of as an extra sell point idea. Again, I'll be popping out a poll in the WFL Discord here in just a minute or a couple minutes, and we'll see what happens with it. And if there's not enough interest, it might be something where I do as an offline series where I just kind of pick a team and just try and actually play offline, which seems ridiculous, but maybe I just try that and see what happens.